happen. Monday is here, and heat is on the way. 90-ish for a high today with some clouds in the area. Still dealing with that kind of hazy, smoky condition, courtesy of the Canadian wildfires. It lingered kind of all weekend, and it continues today. We're looking at some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. That'll knock things down into the mid to low 70s, and then it'll be pretty reasonable the rest of the week. But stormy tomorrow, lots of heat today with a high near 90. Stay hydrated, stay in the shade, be careful out there. No Jean, she's out. Daughter graduating, big party yesterday, and family in town, lots of cleanup. Buffalo chicken dip, 2 thumbs up for that. It was delish. Looking forward to some leftovers making their way to the station tomorrow. But Jean's going to be out today, so you're stuck with me. I apologize. Some Sleep Theory, Sublime on the way. Lots of other stuff to get to as well. Boy, oh boy, busy on a Monday, man. Let's get after it.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Today it's just with Brian. Gene out, kind of recovering a little bit from her daughter's graduation. She was an absolute mess when I left her yesterday afternoon, crying and blubbering. And, oh, yeah, I'm a very emotional mom who has raised 3 really good kids, Henry and Grace and Ella. Just, boy, thumbs up for Gene and Mike and the wonderful job they did. And unbelievable. Talented, smart, nice people, loving, and looking to do some great things in the world. And Ella was the last one, and that was her big graduation party yesterday. So she's taking a moment. Apparently had a issue with a crock pot or a roaster, and I'm sure we'll hear about that on Tuesday, tomorrow, when Jean's back. Road construction, of course, in La Crosse is a big issue. It's a headache. Highway 16, a complete pain in the ass. And everywhere you turn, it seems like there's more and more road construction. But that's the state of Wisconsin when it comes to May, June, July, August, and September. More road construction projects getting started today in La Crosse County. A portion of County Highway M is closed until Thursday near the south end of Highway 1461. We went down there yesterday to head to this graduation party. It was just a disaster down there. They were actually working on a Sunday, which was kind of interesting. County replacing the culvert that runs under the road, and during that time, the detour signs direct vehicles to County YY. Crews also beginning work today on the City Loop Road in West Salem. The west entrance to Quick Trip is open while that work is underway. The project expected to last until sometime in early July. Detour is set up on County Highway C, M, and B to avoid semi-traffic traveling through the village's downtown area. Lastly, the work is wrapping up on County Highway JB north of Highway 33. Culvert replacements happening there. That road closed 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily until the work is completed. You can find all of these, of course, on the Wisconsin DOT website. You can also go to wismnews.com if you want to find out more about some of the road closures in our area because of construction. Suspect now in custody after what the FBI is calling a targeted act of violence in Boulder, Colorado yesterday. Witnesses said that the suspect used a makeshift flamethrower and then threw Molotov cocktails that burned multiple victims during a march in support of Israeli hostages. Boulder police said that 8 people were injured. As of right now, nobody has died. But there's lots of cell phone video and lots of stuff they're going to have to sift through to try to figure this out. The suspect, identified as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabir Solomon, FBI special agent in charge Mike Mikulek said that yesterday. Solomon allegedly heard yelling "Free Palestine" during the attack. It was clear this is a targeted act of violence, according to the special agent from the FBI, investigated as an act of terrorism. Solomon and Egyptian national government officials confirmed that he arrived in California in 2022 on a non-immigrant visa. The original visa expired in February of 2023, and he's been recently living in Colorado Springs. Later on Sunday night, last night, the FBI said it was conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity related to the attack in Boulder. And this guy just, throwing Molotov cocktails, a makeshift flamethrower, 8 people injured, but apparently no deaths in this attack, of course, in Colorado. Loretta Swit, who we all know from MASH, has passed away. She was 87. Margaret Houlihan, a.k.a. Hot Lips.
Major Houlihan.
Sir.
10 years, spotless record.
Thank you, sir. I'm not
not going anywhere with you, Frank. This is the end of the line for us. From now on, I'm number one. Me, Margaret Houlihan. And believe me, soldier, I deserve better than you. Did you ever show me any kind of friendship? Ask my help with a personal problem? Include me in one of your little bull sessions? Can you imagine what it feels like to walk by this tent and hear you laughing and know I'm not welcome?
That tent! From now on, anyone caught with any kind of intoxicating beverage will be severely disciplined.
Who was that?
Loretta Swit, dead at the age of 87, died over the weekend. Actress, animal activist as well, known obviously for her big role on MASH as Major Houlihan, Hot Lips. Died just after midnight on Friday. Natural causes, at least suspected natural causes. Won 2 Emmy Awards for her portrayal of Major Houlihan. Nominated 10 times, which was every year that the show was on air except for the very first year. And appeared in 240 of the 251 episodes during that 11-season run. Obviously, she did some other stuff as well, but mostly known for being in MASH. And now Loretta Swit, dead at the age of 87. A driver on a UTV struck a squad car near Dresser, Wisconsin, with a Polk County deputy and its canine inside the vehicle. The Polk County Sheriff's Office said the crash happened on Highway 35 while the deputy and the canine were on patrol. UTV struck the squad along the driver's side before fleeing. The deputy and canine not injured, but the squad had some major damage. The Sheriff's Office said the driver of the UTV was arrested for suspicion of operating while intoxicated and hit and run. The Wisconsin State Patrol investigating that crash. And sad news out of Bloomer over the weekend, the Eau Claire area. Bloomer Brewing Company, of course, coming to a close. 12 years, the Bloomer Brewing Company closing its doors over the weekend. Tap House hosting its last day of business on Saturday. People coming and enjoying a last glass of beer from the brewery with their friends. For any residents of that area, the brewing company was one of the community's go-to places for all sorts of different things. Lots of fun, obviously, lots of good drinks, bringing friends and family from out of town. And resident there, Tony Erickson, said, quote, whenever people come in from town or from out of town and friends come up from Eau Claire, we try to bring them here because it's a good place to showcase the community. It's nice to be able to bring the kids, have a big open space with a wide variety of stuff to do while we are here. But unfortunately, obviously, the world of craft beer is changing. So, unfortunately, they had to close their doors after 12 years of business at the Bloomer Brewing Company. Sublime in a couple of minutes. If you need something, you can find us online at rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch. Right now, it's Sleep Theory.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Sublime, what I got. Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene, the Brew Crew.
And Trey Turner is the last hope for Philadelphia.
A pop-up, first base side, Reese Hoskins in foul ground. He is under it. He makes the catch, and the Brewers have swept the Phillies in Philadelphia.
And the Boo Birds are out here in Philly. The Phillies have now lost 4 in a row.
Yeah, and the Brew Crew have won 7 in a row. That's right. They beat them on Friday 6-2. They hammered them on Saturday, and then they beat them yesterday 5-2. They've now won 7 in a row. The Brew Crew road trip continues tonight in Cincinnati. The first 3 against the Reds at the 6:10 first pitch. Brewers and Reds on Saturday.
It's been a quarter of a century since Indiana has gone to the finals, but for the first time in 25 years, they're going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, the Pacers over the Knicks on Saturday, 125-108. They win that game, and they win that series. They move on to the NBA Finals, which start on Thursday at 7:30 on ABC. Pacers at Oklahoma City Thunder. The NHL Finals begin Wednesday night at 7 on TNT with the Panthers at the Edmonton Oilers. NASCAR yesterday, actually last night.
It's going to be a Nashville night to remember. Ryan Blaney is the man in Music City.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney got the win in Nashville last night. He started 18th, easily holding off Carson Hocevar with 2.83 seconds between the two of them. Excuse me, Blaney started 15th, not 18th. But celebrating with a burnout in front of the fans. Rough year for Blaney, but got himself a win yesterday in the NASCAR Cup Series race in Nashville. Rockies, not so good. Another series, another sweep. as the Rockies continue to make history for all the wrong reasons. They may be worse than last year's White Sox, who lost a record number of games in Major League Baseball history. The Rockies now 5-3, or lost 5-3 to the Mets yesterday, extending their losing streak to 8 games. Colorado's fourth 8-game losing streak this season. The Rockies just 9-50. The worst record through 59 games of any Major League Baseball team in the modern era, which started in 1901. They have been swept 10 times in 20 series. They have now tied for the most sweeps through 20 series with the 62 Mets, the 70 Brew Crew, and the 94 Athletics. They are historically bad, those Colorado Rockies. Will they turn it around? Probably not. But yeah, it's not good out there in Colorado. And last but not least, in sports this morning, a woman has now accused New Orleans Pelicans forward Zion Williamson of rape in addition to sexual, physical, emotional, and financial abuse over the span of a multi-year relationship. This is a lawsuit that was submitted to L.A. Superior Court on Thursday. The woman, identified as Jane Doe, accusing Williamson of continuing a pattern of abusive, controlling, and threatening behavior over the course of a relationship that started during his freshman year at Duke and lasted from 2018 to 2023. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got some Linkin Park and some Star Sets. In just a couple of minutes, got a text from Jim. Said 4 hours left. Sign out of the Army at 10 a.m. Going to be a weird feeling. Thank you so much for your service, Jim. I hope your retirement is all that you dream it should be. And then some. Go wherever you want. Do whatever you like. That's what you're supposed to do in retirement, right? Enjoy it. Some Linkin Park, as I mentioned, coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Star Set with Toxic on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Stranger Things finally releasing some information over the weekend. The 5th and final season of Stranger Things will roll out in 3 different parts. November 26th, part number 1. Christmas Day, part number 2, then New Year's Eve, part number 3. So your holidays are going to be filled with Stranger Things if you're, into that show. It's going to be really hard to believe that these kids who are now in their 30s, they're supposed to be just getting out of high school or going into high school, somewhere around there. But Stranger Things Season 5, the final season of Stranger Things on Netflix, rolling out on November 26th, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve. Speaking of finales, Squid Game Season 3 hit Netflix, or is hitting Netflix on the 27th of June. New teaser trailer for that out online over the weekend. Also this weekend, the first 6 minutes of the new season of Wednesday. That makes its debut on August 6th. It'll come out in 2 separate parts. Wednesday Season 2 on August 6th and then September 3rd. Also this weekend, we got a new trailer for Happy Gilmore Part 2.
My name is Happy Gilmore. 30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try. But even when you're at the top of your game, you can always shank one.
Let them see the happy I fell in love with.
Happy Gilmore is breaking in yet another caddy he just met.
Happy Gilmore didn't have things flowing on the first hole. Oh, shut up!
Yeah, a lot of, there's going to be a lot of cameos and celebrities and guest appearances. Obviously, John Daly, Bad Bunny, Post Malone, just loaded with all sorts of different people. Happy Gilmore 2, the new trailer dropping over the weekend. It premieres on January 25th on Netflix. Also, in the world of trailers that we saw over the weekend, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, starring Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, and Christoph Waltz. That hits November. I think it's on Netflix, but the trailer for that came out, and it's not too shabby.
In seeking life, I created death.
Obviously, there's many iterations of the Frankenstein story. This is the new one. A lot of snow, a lot of cold, interesting caskets. big, scary Frankenstein monster. All sorts of stuff. It's alive. It's alive. But yeah, new Frankenstein coming out in November. Television tonight, not a whole lot to watch. Obviously, the Brewers are going to be on against the Reds. NBA Finals don't begin till Thursday. The NHL Finals begin on Wednesday. But you've got the 17th season premiere of American Ninja Warrior tonight on NBC. 12th season premiere of Below Deck on Bravo. And the second season premiere of The Quiz with Balls tonight on Fox. Late night shows, all new this week. Looks like it, at least. Fallon's new with Dakota Johnson, Jonathan Groff, and Matt Berninger. Owen Wilson, Brett Goldstein, and Mariah the Scientist going to be on with Kimmel. Gene Smart and Governor Josh Stein on with Stephen Colbert. And Seth Meyers is talking to George Clooney, Jennifer Samard, and Christopher Sieber. That's what's on the boob tube tonight. We've been sort of meandering, watching a few movies here and there. Wife's been trying to get caught up on Bridgerton and the spin-off show. I forget what it's called. Something about the Queen. Yeah. I don't know. I watched Total Recall yesterday while I was working on the computer. Not a whole lot. Just sort of bumming around. Trying to get stuff done with the house and the yard. Got the AC cranked. Getting ready for today. 91 for a high in the area. It's going to be warm. Then dropping down into the low 70s tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms likely. Lawn will like that one. 6 a.m. now. Life is beautiful. Beastie Boys in a bit. If you need something, find us online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
The Beastie Boys fighting for your right to partay. When you watch these movies like Die Hard 2, he's in the back of the airport with all the luggage going around, taking out terrorists. What the hell was that movie on Netflix with Jason Bateman that just came out? It was pretty much all automated. He's walking around in the back of that airport, and there's not a single soul to be found. Not one person walking around back there. He's just got the freedom to move around and go to all the areas of the back of the airport. But the part I'm talking about is the luggage belt, right? You see this thing when you check in your luggage at the counter. They put it on the thing, and it goes right in the back, and then it's a series of belts and slides and slips and ups and downs and all arounds. Well, that's pretty enticing to a toddler, and that's what happened in New Jersey. A toddler in New Jersey got on to one of the luggage belts at the Newark airport. Happened last Wednesday at the check-in desk. Mom was distracted while talking to a JetBlue agent. And if you're a mom, you know it doesn't take more than a half a second for that kid to get himself into some trouble. The kid gets on the luggage belt, goes down a chute at the end of the belt. Cops were walking by, happened to jump into action quickly. One of them was able to grab the kid right before he went through an x-ray machine. Luckily, the kid was okay, but obviously that could have ended up way more tragically than it did with that kid jumping on the luggage belt.
Something that happened in the blink of an eye. There was a split in the belts. One officer went toward one direction, one went toward the other direction. One of them was able to observe the child as the child was approaching one of the x-ray units.
Yeah, able to grab that kid, keep him from getting into any kind of danger or getting injured as he made his way onto the luggage belt, down the chute and into the back of the airport. Conveyor belt leading directly into a chute. A couple of Port Authority officers there saw what had happened. Moving into action, the toddler's grandfather expressing appreciation to the officers who pulled him out of the luggage system, and the boy and his mom both fine. Staten Island family flew from Newark Airport to Tampa, Florida for vacation. Appeared the most memorable trip, of course, was the one before they even got on the plane. And this guy went viral over the weekend. I don't know if you saw this kid. Graduated and then had to work a shift at BK. Metro Atlanta teenager Mikhail Baker going viral after he went to BK for his shift while still wearing his graduation medals. It's like, I got a shift. I got to go. I got to work. I got stuff to do. Customer, inspired by his dedication, launching a GoFundMe page to help pay for this kid's college expenses. Sounds like the GoFundMe right now has got over $180,000. Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. The woman who took a photo of this kid while he was working at BK with his graduation medals on, put it online, started a GoFundMe, and now it's up over $180,000. Pretty crazy. A lot of high school students graduate, maybe go home, little family get-together, grill out, maybe go out for a nice dinner. Not this guy. He had work to do. Just got his diploma, was still proudly wearing his graduation medals when he showed up to work at Burger King. And his decision to go right to work after his graduation did not go unnoticed. I'm sure a lot of you saw this online over the weekend. A customer named Maria Mendoza recording a video of him, posting it on TikTok. That went viral, millions of views. She was also so impressed by his commitment that she started a GoFundMe campaign to help pay for his college expenses. And the response, of course, overwhelming. $180,000 going to this kid. Yeah. Mikhail Baker said he was thinking about taking a gap year, but now he thinks he can go straight to college, wants to study automotive. Should have enough money there with that $180,000 to get through all 4 years or 2 years or whatever. But how cool is that? Nothing wrong with a little bit of dedication to your job. Very cool to see. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've got some Kill Switch in a bit, some Shine Down on the way as well. And if you need something, you can text us. Find our contact info online at rockmornings.com. No Gene today, just me and you hanging out.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more.
Wouldn't it be nice to walk into work someday and just say that? I'm sure some people have. I have yet to experience that joy in life. But today is actually National Leave Work Early Day. Yeah. Encouraging people to say, F it. I'm going to use some of that PTO, some of this time I've got on my calendar to go to the doctor or just sit around and do nothing. Take a nap. Watch your favorite television show, whatever it is. National Leave Work Early Day. People online asking for surefire excuses as to why you would need to leave early. And it's not a head scratcher. It's pretty obvious here. Family emergency. Obviously, that gets the job done 99% of the time. Obviously, with social media, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to get away with that stuff, especially if you're going to post that you're at the bar. Maybe you're in the background of someone else's photo after you said, I got to leave work early today because I have a family emergency. But that tends to get the job done, family emergency. Another one is bathroom problems, diarrhea, cha-cha-cha. Some people are a little too embarrassed to say stuff like that to their boss, but if you don't have any problem with it, that one should work. That obviously goes the same for any kind of other sickness or problem you may have in terms of your health. Say, look, dude, I'm not feeling really well. Feminine issues, they say that's another one. Obviously, that really only applies if you're, a woman. But, yeah, if you've got some stuff going on and just say, hey, look, I got to leave work early. I got to go to the store. I got to make a run. A problem with something happening in your home, water leak, maybe somebody trying to break in. You're looking to fake that excuse. These are some of the surefire excuses to get out of work early, according to a Reddit poll. But yeah, like, oh, my neighbor just called. She said that someone's breaking into my house. I got to go. Call the cops. But then you got to remember it, too, the next day when you come back to work and your employer's like, what happened at your house? Oh, it was fine. It was just my dog jumping on the window, something like that. National Leave Work Early Day, some other excuses that should get you out the door a little bit early this afternoon. An issue with a pet, especially if you got one of those cameras that keeps track of your dog during the day, see what they're up to, right? One of those things. Dog's sick, vet appointment, something along those lines. Religious reasons might work. Obviously, if you're me and you're not religious, it's probably not going to happen. But if you are a person that is into that stuff and everybody at the company knows it, maybe you can get away with leaving work early for a religious reason. And then a forgotten appointment is another surefire excuse that should work. Somebody coming to your house to install cable or fix a pipe. Maybe a doctor's appointment or a vet appointment, something along those lines, and you didn't realize it. But those are pretty surefire excuses on National Leave Work Early Day. Take advantage of it, man, especially if you've got that PTO. Just say, hey, look, man, I'm stepping out early. I got stuff to do. And I don't particularly want to work on a Monday. Don't need to have an excuse. Don't need to have a reason. Sometimes you just don't want to. Shine down in a couple of minutes right now. KSE, I believe.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. She's out today, so you're stuck with me. Apologies. 91 in the area. Cloudy, kind of hazy. Still dealing with that Canadian wildfire smoke. Dropping down into the low 70s tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms. And keep that air conditioning cranked today and then turn it back off tomorrow. It's nice and cold in my house. The Brewers over the Phillies all weekend long. Nice little sweep of the Phillies. That's 7 in a row for the Brew Crew. Their road trip continues tonight in Cincinnati for the first of 3 against the Reds. 6:10 first pitch. Pacers over the Knicks on Saturday. They take the Eastern Conference Finals, move on to take on Oklahoma City. And that series begins on Thursday at 7:30 on ABC. Meanwhile, the NHL Finals start on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock on TNT with the Panthers at the Oilers. And Ryan Blaney got the big win in Nashville last night for NASCAR, his first Cup season, NASCAR Cup Series victory of the season. There we go. I got it. Scott Hansen coming back to Red Zone. People very concerned about that. I honestly have never watched Red Zone. Just never had it, didn't care. But I know a lot of people do, especially if you're gambling on multiple games. But Scott Hansen officially confirming he will return as the host of NFL Red Zone for the 2025 season. Sharing the news in a social media post, counting down the days until the new episode of Red Zone will air. Said 100 days from now equals NFL Red Zone. And for those who are wondering, yes, I will be there. We have a lot of touchdowns to watch together. Fans concerned about Scott Hansen as the host of the popular broadcast ever since his contract expired at the end of the 2024 season back in February. Front Office Sports reported that negotiations to bring him back had stalled, but it looks like they picked those negotiations back up off the floor and got it figured out. So good news for NFL Red Zone fans. Sports Science founder and host John Brenkus dying on Saturday from an apparent suicide. His family announced it on social media on Sunday night. Brenkus, who won 6 Emmy Awards for his show that appeared on ESPN and Fox Sports Net, had been apparently battling depression for many years. Sports Science debuted on Fox Sports Net back in 2007. Then it moved to ESPN a couple of years later. The network eventually purchasing it from Brenkus, who hosted more than 1,800 segments of the very popular show. But you might remember the Sports Science episodes that were on ESPN. I certainly remember the one about Joey Chestnut and how does he shove all those hot dogs in his body. And I've told that one to Gene many times where they've got this... It's the thing from anatomy class, you know, with the chest and torso where they've got it kind of cut open and you can see the organs in there. And then they've got this like stomach and they're just shoving these hot dogs down the throat into the stomach on Sports Science. And it was a wild ride. But the host of that show and the founder of that show, John Brenkus, dying on Saturday from an apparent suicide. Elsewhere in sports, the World Boxing, which is the new organization slated to run the boxing events at the Olympics in 2028 in L.A., announcing on Friday it had enacted a mandatory sex testing policy with Algerian gold medalist Amani Khalif slated to return to competition at the Box Cup in the Netherlands. Khalif, one of the big storylines at last summer's Paris Games, when the International Boxing Association alleged she had been disqualified from an event back in March of 2023 because she did not pass a chromosome-based gender verification test. The International Olympic Committee, the IOC, stripped the IBA of its governing body status after a corruption investigation, questioning the credibility of the IBA's testing process, and allowed Khalif to compete in the female category on the basis of being listed as a female on her Algerian passport. But now World Boxing, the new organization, apparently has some kind of new priorities involved with sex testing or gender testing or whatever you want to call it. But Yeah, so there's that. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Going to be talking about stuff from a decade ago in a couple of minutes. Got bad news, happy music to get to, the friggin' sports. And, of course, if you want to get in touch with me, visit rockmornings.com for all of our contact info. Some Papa Roach in a few minutes.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
That is Mammoth with The End on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You can hear Lou Brutus from Hard Drive XL talk to Wolfgang Van Halen later on this week. Listen to Hard Drive XL weeknights. And check out Lou Brutus online at harddriveradio.com. Can't wait to run into him at Rockfest. We, of course, missed Rockfest last year. Making a return this year. He'll be the host with the most. Running around, taking pictures, and he'll stop by the booth several times during the weekend at Rockfest, so make sure you come down the hill and say hi to us, say hi to Lou Brutus. Usually he leaves trinkets all over the place, stickers and buttons and all sorts of stuff, and he usually has some meet and greets for himself, not to mention some meet and greets for some of the other bands. I'm sure we'll have some of those too. It's always a blast at Rockfest. Get all the info and buy your tickets and all that stuff, rock-fest.com. And be listening to Lou Brutus this week because he's going to be talking to 3 Days Grace and Hailstorm and Mammoth and Dean DeLeo from the Stone Temple Pilots. And, yeah, he's a busy guy, that Lou Brutus. Again, looking forward to seeing him at Rockfest this summer. Going to be hot today, steamy, 90-ish for a high. Stay hydrated, stay cool. Stay inside with the air conditioning. That's my plan this afternoon. Going to cool off tomorrow, though, with some showers and thunderstorms, looking at a high of just about 72, and then kind of hovering in the mid-70s all week long, so not bad. Not too bad. Finally got the bike out of the garage. It's been too damn long. I don't know, I've just been busy, man. I don't know, just sort of haven't really had the time to get on it, but got to try to put some more miles on it this summer. Didn't get a lot last summer either because we made multiple trips, like I said, back east to see my mom. Actually, today, interesting, looking through my Facebook memories, was 1 year ago today was when the wife and I checked into the Christmas Story house on our way out to New England. Yeah. Spent a couple nights at the Christmas Story house in Cleveland on our way out to New Hampshire to visit my mom. It was a very cool experience. Had a blast. There's a really cool restaurant right across the street from the Christmas Story house, along with the museum and store. And it's just kind of wedged into a neighborhood. Yeah, it's not, if you didn't know it was there, you'd drive right by it. But the Christmas Story house in Cleveland, Ohio, we stopped there. We stayed a couple nights, took the tour, saw a lot of the memorabilia, bought way too many things at the store. Yeah, spent way too much money, but it was a blast. What's really cool is when you stay at the Christmas Story house, obviously the inside is meant to look like the movie. And same with the backyard and obviously the outside of the house. But they do tours inside of the house during the day. And at 5 o'clock, when they wrap up the tours, they unlock the door, which is the door in the kitchen of the apartment, which is in the back. And you, if you're staying in the house, can just sort of go in there and wander around all night long if you want. You could sleep in Ralphie and Randy's bedroom. They allow you to do that. They got the 2 beds in there. We did not do that. We stayed in the apartment, which is up on the 3rd floor. But you got a full kitchen, bathroom, little living room area with a TV and movies and games, and then, of course, a bedroom. And it was funny because we'd be up in the bedroom, and there'd be people down there on the road taking pictures of the house all hours of the night. And then you'd pop your head into the window, and they would look up, and they'd see you, and they didn't know that there was somebody in the house. So it was kind of funny to watch their reaction. But if you do get a chance and you're a fan of the movie, I highly recommend staying at the Christmas Story house in Cleveland. It is expensive, FYI. They do have the Bumpus house you can stay in, apparently. We did not go in there. And what was funny to me and strange was that the Bumpus house, which is right next to the Christmas Story house, not part of the tour. So you take the tour and you go, through the Christmas Story house, and they talk about, some of the props from the movie and some of the stories about, the movie being filmed there and whatnot. But the Bumpus house, which in the first film, at least, was never shown just sort of existed there with the dogs next door, did appear apparently in the sequel, and that's where they came up with the idea to buy that property and turn it into the Bumpus House, but we did not get to go in there as part of the tour, so a little disappointing. 10 years ago today, bunch of stuff happening. A website called The Tropical Fruit. Not sure what that's about, but put together a list of 10 things that happened 10 years ago this week as I reminisce about our trip to New England last year. Caitlyn Jenner, 10 years ago, introducing herself to the world, her famous Vanity Fair cover, June 1st, 2015, titled Call Me Caitlyn. It's kind of a groundbreaking moment. YouTube's 10th birthday video trending. It marked the 10th anniversary of YouTube's beta version, which launched in May of 2005. They recently announced there are now over 20 billion videos. 20 billion. That's billion with a B. 20 billion videos on YouTube. And it's, only 20 years old. 1 billion for every year. I never followed these people, but the Duggars, apparently, and Meltdown Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar from 19 Kids and Counting did their first interview 10 years ago, following the news that their oldest son, Josh, had improperly touched 4 of his younger sisters. The show then canceled a month later, but that was a decade ago this week, the whole Duggar meltdown thing. Kardashian Kim revealing that she was pregnant again, second of 4 kids with her ex-husband, Kanye West. Their son, Saint, was born later on that year in December, but she made the announcement that she was pregnant with Kanye West's baby 10 years ago this week. Tracy Morgan, first interview, nearly a year after he almost died in that terrible car crash. And, it took him a long time to recover, but this week, 10 years ago, Tracy Morgan doing his first interview talking about that car crash. It was with a Walmart truck. And then just a few weeks ago, he was at an NBA game, and he's yakking all over the court. Right there at the courtside seats. A decade ago this week, IHOP updating their logo, apparently to make it look happier. I don't really remember that, but they decided that their old logo looked like a frown, so they gave it a smiley face look, doing the Amazon thing. The long neck mugshot guy. Not the big head mugshot guy, but the long neck mugshot, or the thick neck. Remember the thick neck guy? All the memes? Oh, I was in love with those memes. This is the other guy. This is, what is it? They call him Daddy Long Neck on the internet. Yeah. The guy with the long neck, his mugshot went viral a decade ago. He was accused of stealing $3,000 worth of antique coins from a store, but nobody cared what he did. They just wanted to know, how did your neck get so long? And then he ended up kind of becoming internet friends with the big neck guy, whose memes were way better. The memes for the thick neck guy, way better than the long neck guy. And also a decade ago, the trailer for Sharknado 3 made its way into our hearts. They ended up making 6 of those bad boys. Ugh. Sharknado. But yeah, some stuff that happened a decade ago this week. Long neck guy. God bless memes. I don't know what I'd do without them. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to music in a bit from the Chili Peppers. Bad News, Happy Music a bit later on. Again, if you need something, rockmornings.com to get in touch. Right now, it's White Zombie.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Again, kind of hazy, but up near 91 today. Going to be a warm one. Got that AC set at 64. Very comfortable in my house. Very comfortable. Apparently, there's a new trend involving wine, which I don't drink, and I also don't eat jalapenos, but there's a trend going viral on social media now where people are putting jalapenos in their white wine, specifically a chilled glass of Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc actually has this component in it called pyrazines that gives it this bell peppery, almost jalapeno characteristic. So it lends itself really well to adding physical peppers. Let's give this a try. Immediately, the jalapeno just jumps out of the glass. It smells just like a mango pico de gallo. I do like spicy things. Ooh, but that is, it's really good.
Yeah, it sounds like it as you're choking to death. People say it's divine, refreshing, light with a bit of spice. Apparently, there is some science behind it affecting the taste. One expert said it's because the wine has organic compounds called pyrazines, which are also found in bell peppers and jalapenos. Sauvignon Blanc can have a citrusy characteristic. Some even say that it smells green and peppery, but if you see somebody doing that at a party in a backyard this summer, don't be surprised.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Jose Jalapeno. Jose Jalapeno. Jose Jalapeno. On the stick.
Not just on a stick, but in your white wine, apparently. Jalapenos.
Sweet berry wine.
I think I'm good. Also, in other food news, there is a restaurant that's going viral for serving a caviar and cocktail combo inside of a $33,000 bag, some sort of handbag. Again, some sort of weird promotion to try and get their name out there, and it's working because obviously people like me on the radio talking about it.
What's your most expensive drink?
Our new, it's not a bag, it's a cocktail.
Okay, and how much is that?
$33,000.
Damn, for one drink? I'll take it. All right, now what type of vodka is this? I've never seen this before. With the Belvedere tin?
Oil saccharum, induction grapefruit peel. Little black right here, grapefruit juice.
It's organic, right? You know, I'm on a diet.
Always. Lemon juice.
Thank you.
Nice, refreshing summer cocktail. Let's get into this caviar. Pearl spoons only. If you know, you know. That is some quality Siberian caviar. If you can't afford the whole Birkin bag like me, you can just get the drink for $150.
A drink for $150? Better come with a massage or a television. This is a place called Poppy Steak in Miami going viral for serving a cocktail in a Hermes Birkin bag, whatever the hell that is. Some kind of guy that you just heard, Mr. Lewis, content creator, sharing a video of himself ordering it. The drink itself costs $150. It's apparently served in the bag that's worth $33,000. Comes with some caviar as well. Poppy Steak restaurant in Miami serving a cocktail and caviar alongside or inside of the bag, but $33,000 for all that? No thanks. The menu doesn't actually come with that much of a cost. It's served in a bag worth tens of thousands of dollars. Customer doesn't actually get to keep the bag, apparently. Well, that's dumb. Also, a former, in other food news, a former corporate chef at McDonald's talking about what makes their burgers taste the way they do as people try to replicate some of these recipes at home, maybe to save a few extra bucks.
I'm a former McDonald's corporate chef. I am going to divulge some information for you. Nobody believes me. Just to confirm, this magic seasoning, they legally have to post the ingredient statement on their website. I'll even put the meat ingredient statement. It's just salt and pepper. There's literally no other things in it. 86% salt, 14% pepper. The hamburger, the McDouble, the double cheeseburger, and the Big Mac, same seasoning is used on their quarter pounders. If you do not think this is true, along with the beef being all beef, go sue them. You could bring that product to an independent lab.
Wow. Guessing things didn't work out between him and McDonald's. That guy's name is Mike Haraz. Worked for McDonald's until 2019. Talking about the magic seasoning, what makes the burgers taste the way they do. Apparently not so difficult to recreate that. He explained that it's 86% salt, 14% pepper. Simply salt and pepper. That's what does it on the burgers. Including the cheeseburger, the McDouble, the double cheeseburger, the Big Mac, the quarter pounders. Even suggested that people who don't believe it should go sue McDonald's, test them. And if you're so smart, maybe you could win a lawsuit. I don't think you're going to win it, but last but not least, in food-related news, Starbucks looking for a couple of people. People who like to travel and people who like coffee. Adventure of a lifetime. This was late last week, Starbucks announcing that it's looking for 2 global coffee creators to travel the world and tell stories about the brand's coffee. One of them has to be a current Starbucks employee. The other can be anybody, as long as they're passionate about coffee, culture, and community. It's a full-time, 12-month gig. We'll have the chosen content creators visiting 10 to 15 Starbucks across the globe, so one a month. Unique spots such as the company's coffee farm in Costa Rica, the Milan Roastery, Tokyo's iconic Starbucks cafes, traveling all around the world, go behind the scenes, tell people why Starbucks is better than others. All travel expenses covered by Delta Airlines and Marriott Bonvoy, so the content creators will not have to spend a dime. Got to be at least 18. You got to live in the U.S., have a valid passport, and be able to travel globally from August of this year till July of next year. High school diploma also required, and if you're interested in that, you can obviously Google Starbucks content creator. Should pop right up. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people vying for that position. Travel around the world, drink coffee, and tell people about it. I could do that job. I don't know if I'd like it, but I could do it. It's Foo Fighters in a couple of minutes right now. Wage War.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Foo Fighters, My Hero, Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene. Bad news, happy music coming up in just a bit. Lots of sports over the weekend. Baseball, basketball, NHL on a break right now until they get to the finals on Wednesday. NASCAR, golf. Peyton Manning hitting houses with his tee shot, much like me. That's right. I have something in common with Peyton Manning. Who would have thunk it? Peyton Manning, of course, legendary Colts quarterback, playing in the Memorial Tournament Pro-Am in Dublin, Ohio. And obviously, when you're paired up with the world number one golfer, Scottie Scheffler, you're never going to look good. He's going to carry the team. You might get one shot in all the holes that you play in this Memorial Tournament, this Pro-Am, where it's better than Scheffler's, right? You might get one out of the umpteen that you hit. This one was not it. Peyton Manning playing with Scottie Scheffler on Wednesday of last week. Way better at football than he is at golf because he apparently shanked his tee shot and hit a house that was on the course, which is something that I did years ago. Yeah. Manning knew immediately after swinging that his shot was in big trouble. Big yell of 4. 4! Letting people know to watch out. Next sound he heard was his ball hitting this house on the course loudly. Might have been the siding. Without knowing exactly what the result was enough to make Scheffler bend over, just dying laughing. Acknowledging the huge noise by saying, "Good morning, sir. That's too much." Yeah. Manning, of course, a little bit embarrassed by the situation. But Scottie Scheffler taking advantage of it by laughing at Peyton Manning for hitting a house on the course. I don't know, dude. If you don't want your house getting hit, don't put it on the course. I was actually playing with some coworkers and the guy who was running the golf course that was living in the house that I hit. It was like the only house on the golf course. And I think his wife was at home at the time. Yeah, we teed up. I think it was the 10th hole. And I shanked it real bad. Next thing you know, tonk. Huge clunking sound. Thank God I didn't hit a window or something like that. It just sort of hit the side of the house. He's like, "You probably scared my wife half to death." Sorry. It happens. It happens. I got to get the sticks out. I haven't been on a course in a long time. Too long. Nothing more in a couple of minutes, and bad news, happy music next as well. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
File this in the hashtag Never Flying Again files. Apparently, one of the flight attendants on a British Airways flight got butt-ass naked after a drug binge. So the people who are serving coffee and giving you little pretzels and stuff, apparently they've had it with flying as well. Naked British Airways flight attendant arrested after being caught dancing naked in the lavatory on a flight last week. Drugs may or may not have been involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Just a quick reminder that our flight crew is here for your safety, not naked interpretive dance in the loo. If you happen to see one of our flight attendants tripping balls and flailing with tatas akimbo, thinking she's auditioning for So You Think You Can Dance, please remain seated and notify the rest of the crew. We appreciate your understanding as we keep things flying high and fully clothed here at British Airways.
Got to be honest, now that I've read the rest of the story, I kind of understand why this guy might have done it. This was on an Airbus flight going from San Francisco to London. During the dinner service after takeoff, one of the flight attendants reportedly went missing, so the crew went searching for him. Found him butt-ass naked dancing inside one of the Club World lavatories. That's the business class. They suspected that he was high on drugs, so he was relieved of his duties for the rest of the flight. So, A, the guy's getting paid to be there, but then they relieve him of his duties, so they clock his ass out. Then they gave him some first-class PJs and put him in an empty first-class seat for the rest of the 10-hour journey. Brilliant. That's all you got to do is get naked, go dancing in the bathroom, and then they'll give you a first-class seat and some first-class PJs. The crew, of course, alerting the company of what had happened. Police called to meet the flight. This guy was then reportedly removed from the airport in a wheelchair, received medical attention, then arrested, suspended of his duties, pending an investigation. British Airways refusing to comment beyond that, saying that it's a police matter. But this guy got high AF on a flight, took all his clothes off.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah, he was dancing in the bathroom. And then he got some first-class PJs and a ride in first class. So that's all it takes, huh? This is a scary situation. Not the first time. Probably will never, won't be the last, but a bunch of bees. Yeah. Millions of bees, to be exact. Escaping after a semi-truck overturned in Washington State.
When they said 200 million bees, they meant it.
So when I heard that this had happened, we thought, well, we got the suits. Let's go and see what we can do and help. So we're basically one by one rebuilding the beehives over there, putting the frames back in and then having to stack them.
It calms them down with the smoke. Sometimes it works. When they're really angry like this, it doesn't really work too well. We've had a number of the beekeepers. They've gotten stung as well as a couple of our deputies.
Millions of bees. Originally, they thought it was 250 million bees. Now it's apparently only 14 million. Well, geez, I feel so much better. But this was in Washington State, so we're safe. But they're out there rebuilding beehives, trying to capture all these bad boys. Buzzworthy story. 14 million bees escaping from a commercial truck carrying about 70,000 pounds of honeybee hives, losing part of its load last Friday. The Sheriff's Department Office of Emergency Management said, when I came back from the front, this little beekeeping suit that they gave, I was just pretty much covered in bees and didn't even go right up to the truck. They had to call in a bunch of bee experts, working around the clock, trying to get this truck off the road and also get the bees safely back into the hives.
Bees! Bees! Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
Son, roll around. Did you hear me? Roll around on the ground.
Forget that! I'm starting to swell up! Save yourself! Don't be the hero! Your firearms are useless against them!
Watch out for those bees. I guess the silver lining is that it was only 14 million bees and not 250 million bees that got loose. Wouldn't want to respond to that crash. No, thank you. Elsewhere in the bad news with happy music, a woman in California waking up in the middle of the night to a stranger sucking on her toes. This happened near Modesto. Police sharing the details on Facebook. The that 27-year-old Christian Anguiano had allegedly been harassing this woman for months. So maybe not so much a stranger, but some guy she was definitely not interested in. Followed her home from work, even slept outside her place in his car. A couple of weeks ago, she woke up around midnight, found this guy on the edge of her bed with her toes in his mouth.
Really beautiful feet.
Bro, you know what's happening in my house if I wake up and my toes are in your mouth. After that, this guy apparently then tried to get into bed with her. She was able to push him away and call 911. He ran off. Cops didn't find him that night, but they did track him down the next day in the same area. Maybe he was trying to come back for round 2 of the whole toe-sucking thing, but he's now facing charges for burglary, stalking, sexual battery, and assault with intent to commit a felony.
I don't even like feet.
Yeah. This guy apparently liked her feet, and she woke up to this guy sucking on her toes.
I'm sorry, but you have the most beautiful feet. Would you like a foot massage?
No, I would not like a foot massage. Creepy. And that right there, fellas, is why they take the bear. Just another example of why they choose the bear. Hashtag Florida cops there have arrested another hashtag Florida woman after she was stealing mementos from graves so she could use them as lawn art at her home. So she was trying to decorate the front of her house, make it look nice and pretty by stealing mementos from grave sites. That's nice. Catherine Taylor, from Florida, stands accused of 2 counts of criminal mischief. Family members with their parents buried side by side at this cemetery noticed someone was stealing items they left on the grave, on the headstone. After reporting some of the miscellaneous things missing to cops, the family members then installed a camera in hopes of catching the thief in action, and that's exactly what happened. Video shows the woman, later identified as Catherine Taylor, walking around the grave sites filled with keepsakes. Broad daylight, by the way, not even wait until midnight. She appears to have grabbed one wind chime and then tried to take another one but couldn't shake it loose. Detectives getting anonymous tips identifying this woman, and now she's been arrested and is in big trouble for stealing from grave sites to decorate her front yard. That's nice. That's real nice. It's real nice. Last but not least, every man's nightmare. Snakes biting you on the wiener. Yeah, never good. A man now fighting for his life after suffering severe blood loss when a python bit him on his penis while he was using the toilet. This is in Thailand. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's last name. Attacked by the large snake in the bathroom of his home, which is east of Bangkok. According to the reports, he reached down after feeling a sudden sharp pain, only to find the python's jaws clamped onto the tip of his manhood. In a panic, this guy called out for his wife, struggled to free himself from the grip of the 11-foot snake. This guy, before he lost consciousness, managed to tie a rope around the snake's head and secure it to the bathroom door to prevent it from escaping. Ugh. Emergency services quickly responding, transporting him to the hospital, treated for a significant loss of blood. Apparently there's footage from the scene showing rescue workers trying to get this python from the toilet's plumbing, even using hammers to dismantle parts of the system, breaking things up just to get this python out of there. The snake eventually captured, placed into a secure bag, later released back into the wild. I don't know what for. Might as well chop that bad boy up. It's out there biting penises. No, thank you.
I have had it with these snakes on this plane.
Authorities say the python entered the home by swimming up through the pipes. Yeah, that's why it was in the toilet. Can you imagine? Middle of the night, you get up, go take a pee. Next thing you know, you're fighting for your life because this python's got a hold of your manhood. Ugh. Terrifying, dude. Terrifying. No, thank you. Bad news with happy music. On Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, we'll get to our daily check-ins after Wayland.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com. Head to the website. Check out the daily podcast. Listen to the show live. Find all of our contact info as well. Got a very good text from Jim earlier this morning. Said he's only got 4 hours left. Of course, that was at about 6 a.m., so now he's down to an hour. 1 hour left, and he signs out of the Army at 10 a.m. Going to be a weird feeling. Enjoy retirement, Jim. Seriously. Wish you nothing but the best. I got a text from Festival Foods letting me know that 99-cent Kemp Select Milk, half gallon, skim 1%, 2%, or whole white. Kick off June Dairy Month with hot savings. Valid today, only limit one. Very nice. Might have to stop and get myself a half gallon of milk. June Dairy Days. Thank you very much for that text, Festival. Appreciate that. What happens when you sign up for those things? Also, a buddy of mine, Enrique, getting me hooked up with some tickets to go see the Loggers. Thank you very much, Enrique. Appreciate that. My lawn guy, sometime later this week, coming by to spray the lawn. Looks pretty good right now. Gonna have that heat today. Then tomorrow with the showers and thunderstorms. Oh, boy, it's gonna look real good. Gonna look real good. Got a spray coming later this week, too. Rockmornings.com, again, is where you can find all of our contact info. Hopefully have a great rest of your Monday. Be on the lookout for heat exhaustion, all that stuff. If you got to work outside, it's going to be in the 90s today. Dropping down into the 70s tomorrow with that rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.